How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to be covering step 6 of our 10-step process on how to become a successful sign and print business. If you'd like to learn more, stay tuned. How's it going, everybody? I'm Peter Karunas with shopVOX, and in this video, step 6 is what we're going to be talking about of our 10-step process of how to become a successful sign and print business. Now, step 6 is all about setting goals and having meetings. In one of my other videos, we talked about setting goals and why it was important. We're going to just do a little bit of a recap here. There are many different types of goals that you could have as a sign shop owner. Not all of them need to be financial. But let's talk about financial goals here for a second. It is deeply important for those financial goals to be set. You should set a financial goal every week, every month, and every year. I, for one, have loved it when I've trained my employees on how to get very granular with that goal. So, for example, if your goal was to do $1 million in gross sales this year, it's important to get down to the granular level. What does that mean that you have to do per month? What does that mean that you have to do per week? What does that mean that you have to do per day? So if your goal was to do $1 million gross at the end of the year, that means you pretty much have to be doing $20,000 a week, or approximately $3,800 a day in brought-in revenue. The goal becomes that much easier to achieve when you can break it down to what you have to do and focus on for that particular day. When you're using our pro version of shopVOX, you can take advantage of the goal setting feature that you can give for each one of your staff members on a monthly basis. You can even set financial goals inside of shopVOX for yourself. Now let's talk about meetings. Now I know what you're thinking. More meetings, more discussions, more conversations, more chances for employees to complain. That's not the purpose of having that is not the purpose of having a meeting. The purpose of having a meeting is to keeping everybody on point for making sure that the goal that they are responsible for is achieved, and you as the owner to give them leadership and coaching to achieve that goal. Common best practices here for having staff meetings is to have them weekly, and particularly at the beginning of the week, beginning of the work day. Now, what are you going to be discussing at these meetings? Well, there's a lot of things that you can be discussing at these meetings, but first and foremost, what you should be discussing are your goals. You should be making sure that every one of your staff members are on pace to making their weekly, monthly goal. And if they need a little bit of assistance, that's where your leadership abilities are going to step in. That's where you, as the owner, are going to step in and help your employees achieve their goal. Perhaps it's something that they're missing. Perhaps a tool that they need is not being provided. You, as the owner, you're responsible for making sure that your employees have all the tools and resources that they need in order to complete their goal. Another item that you'll be going over at this particular meeting is what the plan is for the week. Who's doing what? When are they doing it? What tasks need to be completed in order to get jobs out the door faster? What vendors need to be contacted? What quality assurance needs to be done? Whose role and responsibility is it to make sure that the pipeline gets sped up and work pushed out faster? It's important that if you are doing the items and having your to-do lists, that these meetings will become easier to have. You'll create notes from yourself from the week before that you will jot down, and you will bring them up at this particular meeting to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Also at these meetings, this is where you're going to get a little bit of a pushback on your goals. It's important to get pushback. You as a business owner, as a sign shop business owner, you're going to want your employees to push back on you here. Why is that important? Because you want to straighten everybody's mindset towards your goal. If your goal is to do $20,000 this week in revenue, and you have set forth a plan to get to that number, and you have given everybody responsibilities and tasks to get to that number, you have done your job. But before you depart on this meeting, you must ask if there's anybody who has any questions, if there's anybody who's confused, or if there's anybody confused about what their role is in making sure that this task gets completed, or this goal gets completed. Typically here, your employees are going to share a little bit of doubt, particularly if you haven't been showing a history of doing $20,000 a week. This is where you want to make sure that the culture and that the mindset and that everybody's driving in the right direction. Getting your staff in routines to having these meetings will eventually get them a little bit more prepared for having these meetings. If you're not having meetings right now and sharing your goals and visions with the particular staff that you have, I suggest that you start immediately. So there you have it, goals and meeting. That is step 6 of our 10-step process on how to become a successful sign and print business. If you're looking to learn a little bit more, stay tuned for step number 7. You won't want to miss it. I'm Peter Karunas with shopVOX. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell when you want to know when a next video is going to hit on this channel.